This is Pastor John Miller, one of the pastors at the Community Church of Saddlebrook. And today I was pondering a statement in the Bible that I find is most fascinating. And it's the statement where the Old Testament in 1 Samuel 13:14, it says that David was a man after God's own heart. Think about that. David was a man after God's own heart. When I think of what David did in his life, a lot of good, but boy, he certainly disobeyed and dishonored God in some serious ways in his life. And yet he was known as a man after God's own heart. And I really think it had to do with his humility, with his willingness that once he had sin, to repent of it, to confess it, to ask forgiveness from God, that his sin really hurt him, as well as knowing that it offended the Lord. And when I think of the qualities, that's the question I want to ask, is what are the qualities of a man after God's own heart? And I see it in David's prayers. And so let me share with you a couple of prayers that David prayed that give me this sense of a man who had a heart for God. In Psalm 19:14, it says, David says, and it's David's Psalm, Psalm 19, but at the end of it, he says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer." Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And so he was a man who was sensitive to what would come out of his mouth, what would come out of his heart. And he said, "Lord, I just want to honor you with what I say and how I feel." And so that's powerful prayer, and it's a prayer that I prayed many times. Another prayer that David prayed was Psalm 139, 23 and 24, where David says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and then lead me in the way everlasting." Wow. Search me, O God, and know. There again, I want you to look deep into my heart, see if there's anything that's an offense to you, and then lead me away from that offense to what honors you. Search me, O God, know my heart. Try me, put me on trial, know my intimate thoughts. See if there's any wicked way, any hurtful way in me, and then lead me away from that to the right path. That is why I think David was called a man after God's own heart. May we seek to emulate that spirit in David today. Thank you.